On Wednesday, June 7th of 2023, I went to a Muse concert. And honestly, it was incredible. The lights, the visuals, the atmosphere, everything felt larger than life. For 2 whole hours, everyone in that room was completely connected to the experience. And when the concert ended, like a lot of people, I walked straight to the merch stand. There were hoodies, t-shirts, posters, and all other kind of goodies. And honestly, I expected I would buy something, but standing there, looking at the merch, I realized something strange. I loved the band, I loved the concert, it was great. But I didn't really want any of the merch. And that confused me, because if music creates such a strong emotional connection, why doesn't merchandise always do the same? In today's music industry, artists earn very little from streaming. Because of that, merchandise has become one of the most important income sources alongside touring. But despite how important merch is financially, a lot of it still fails to connect to fans. And I think that's because many artists still treat merch as a product instead of part of the experience. Music has never been transactional. Music is emotional. And if music creates emotional experiences, then merchandise has to continue that experience, not interrupt it. Fans don't just buy merch because they need another t shirt, you know? They buy it because it represents something. It represents their identity, their taste, their connection to an artist or community. Think about how people wear band merch. They're not just wearing fabric with a logo on it like an Adidas t shirt, they're communicating something about themselves. And that's actually something bands like Muse already understand very well. Their concerts create a strong visual identity throughout themes, production, and atmosphere. So, when merchandise reflects that same feeling, fans connect to it much more emotionally. Another important factor is scarcity. If merchandise is always available, people stop paying attention to it. But when artists release limited drops or tour exclusive items, fans suddenly see them differently. Not because the product changed, but because access changed. Scarcity creates urgency, and urgency creates demand. A great example of this is Travis Scott. He didn't treat merch as something extra, he treated it as a part of the experience. During his Astroworld rollout, he released limited merchandise drops over several days, each tied to an album's visuals identity and sense of exclusivity. Fans weren't just buying clothes, they were buying into a moment. And what's interesting is that this strategy isn't unique to him. Take BTS, for example. Their merch is deeply tied to storytelling and identity, from albums to collectible items that reflect different eras of the band. Fans don't just collect it for value, but because it represents their place inside the BTS universe. Across genres, the psychology stays the same. Fans want identity, connection, and a feeling of belonging. So if we go back one last time to the merch stand after the Muse concert, I think the reason I walked away had very little to do with the product themselves. The real issue was that nothing felt meaningful to me. And maybe that's the biggest shift happening in the music industry right now. Artists are no longer just competing for streams or for attention. No, I think they're competing for emotional connection, because fans today don't just want to listen to music. They want they want to feel connected. They want to experience it, wear it, belong to it. And when merchandise succeeds, that's exactly what it does. It transforms music from something you hear into something you carry with you. And when artists understand that, merch stops being an extra product, it becomes part of the story itself. Thank you.